Alright, so this is an article that was written in 2016, September, I think. Yeah, September. By this lady, Annika Elias. Alright. This is why the Parliament has to vote yes to affirmative action. Now, affirmative action, for those of you who might not know, is, well, when you basically you put people into positions not based on their merit, but rather based on some other pre-existing conditions such as gender, race, or something like that. Just because, for the cause of equality, right? Because we gotta have equality, and it's not equal unless we artificially insert a certain group of people into this profession based on nothing but gender or race. I mean, yeah, just wow. And these people are arguing for this. It's depressing. It's sad, really. Like how intellectually fucking handicapped you have to be to believe this shit. Companies and organizations should ask themselves what they're doing wrong when they can't find or can't attract women with talent, competence, and drive to high positions. The only reasonable conclusion is that there is a lack of will. Now let's just stop there. Let's just stop there for a brief moment and examine that. The only reasonable conclusion is that there is a lack of will. I mean, just... Okay, just to hell with all other possible explanations, all other possible reasons why this might be. Why, for example, are there more women working in the medical field as nurses than there are men? I don't know. Could it possibly... And genuinely, I do not know. I don't know. But I know that it's not because there is a lack of will in the fucking management. That's not why. You'd have to be an idiot to think that's why. I mean, for God's sakes, it's just... My personal hypothesis on this is that there is men and women are different. We just are. I'm sorry if that offends you, but that's your problem. Men and women are different biologically. It's inevitable that men and women are going to seek out different things. Now, of course, there are men who seek out work that is stereotypical to women, or perhaps is dominated by women. And inevitably, there are going to be women who seek out employment in fields which are dominated by men. But there's a reason as to why that particular field is dominated by either men or women, and it's not because the management has a lack of will. It's because men and women are driven probably by the biology and the culture in the society in which they reside to seek out that sort of employment or work. Men's interests and women's interests are just different. Now, there's nothing stopping anyone based on race or gender, not in this country, to find a particular job, work as something in particular. If you want to be a doctor, you can be a doctor, assuming you're qualified. If you want to be a CEO, you could probably become one if you're qualified, if you have the fucking wits for it. I'm not saying it's easy, and there's a hell of a fucking competition. But you could probably do it if you really put your mind to it, and if you're the kind of person who just could manage getting there. Let's move on. The Parliament have to shoulder its responsibility to crush the glass ceiling, writes Annika Elias. Leaders. It's a translation of this group. Ledarna, leaders. Ledarna have, according to a decision made by Congress under many years, been driving the question about affirmative action put into law by company management. That's disgusting, and that's horrible. Despite the fact that women in the position of boss position, leadership positions increasing, the development is standing still when it comes to this distribution of posts on the very top tiers. Oh shit, that's my Steam going off. Hang on, let me put myself to busy there. Fuck off. Where was I? Oh yeah, very professional. Well, this is just me ranting, so fuck off. At this rate, it'll be 50 years before equality is achieved. I'm sorry, I thought we had equality. You see, equality doesn't mean forcibly putting an equal amount of differently gendered people or differently born people by, like, holy shit, just holy shit. Equality doesn't mean you artificially distribute all positions in society 50-50. Equality means equal opportunity. Equality means you have the same opportunity no matter what you were born as the opposite gender. Equality means that a woman has the same very same opportunity and very same capability of becoming something as a man. That's equality. Equality doesn't mean, oh, look, this field is dominated by men. Let's fucking artificially input a bunch of women who are not necessarily even interested in working at this into this field, and those men can go fuck themselves and work as nurses or something. Right? It doesn't make any sense. Men and women are interested in different things, but I've already said that. I've already gone over that. So, I'm sorry. Just frustrating. The law proposition about affirmative action to company management that the government now is hang on. Right, yeah, okay. So the law proposition about affirmative action to company management that the government currently is working on would contribute to increasing the rate and give women the same possibilities or opportunities to a career as men. Show me a single example where a woman in recent years have been denied an opportunity to a career that was granted to a man. Show me the single opportunity where merit didn't decide that factor. You can't, can you? Not once have I ever seen an example of this. And not once has anyone ever shown me an example of this. It's absurd. This line of thinking is just absurd, and you can already tell that this old person with life experience, I mean, she's got to be what, like 50 at least? How can you have been alive for this long and think this way? How has something like this just completely gone over your head? Something so basic, something so simple as, oh, let's have a merit-based society. I mean, fuck you. Fuck you. Affirmative action doesn't solve all problems, but the picture becomes more nuanced of who can and will become a leader, a boss. It creates, what's this? Like idols? Or, yeah, I suppose role models, thank you. It gives a more correct reflection of society and a strong political signal for the desire for equality. That's a very lovely sentiment, isn't it? Shame it's retarded and it doesn't at all reflect reality. To get... Wait. No, sorry. Excuse me. It's sometimes difficult to translate Swedish into English because of the phrasing. The fact that so few women hold high positions is a democracy problem. How is it a democracy problem? No! Oh my god. Do you think people in high positions get more than one vote? Is that it? Is that what you think? Is that really what you... I mean, this is depressing. How are people this just... Oh my god. Really? I get that democracy is about more than one person, one vote. I get that, but... It's not. The glass ceiling isn't real. It's not real. You just... you live in a fucking other reality. Decisions which are taken in the high positions in... well, I suppose this would be like domestic economic part of the government. Have a strong influence on the working life, the working people's capabilities, opportunities, prerequisites, something like that, which gives men... What does this even mean? This doesn't make any sense. Holy shit, I want to see if I can translate this correctly. Like, interpretation, like, I'm gonna look this up. Why not? I'll see if there's a direct fucking, let's see. Well, let's just go to this one. Let's see if, English, prevail, really? Really? Prevail? What? No, there we go. No, that's not the right word. You know what? We'll just skip this part, whatever. The boss of the boss is still a man. And to be able to... Well, what do you mean? Yes, well, maybe, sometimes, probably. But, like... What, should all fucking bosses just be men then? No, women then? Would you be happy if that were the case? Would that please you? Would that please you fucking crazy people? Well, I mean... Fuck's sake. In order to become a stable country, a strong and stable country, Sweden faces great challenges, and therefore, who wrote this? Who wrote this? This is... You don't write like this anyway. And because of that, you need the best bosses. Well, no, not necessarily. Although, I mean, generally, historically speaking, you need average people in management positions at worst. Yeah, if you have terrible people, like, which, say under a monarchical system, and you like enter into crises, international crises of some sort, then yeah, shit might hit the fan real bad, in such a way that it did in World War One. If you had average people, or even better, good people, I'm not sure World War One would have happened, but instead you had all of these fucking monarchs, these below average people, ruling nations, deciding, oh, we should go to war. And that's just... Well, anyway, that's another tangent, whatever. One of my interests just mixing in here. But another point, actually, the implication here is quite disgusting. Like, you need the best bosses, yeah, exactly. So you get the people who are interested in becoming bosses, leaders. You don't get the people artificially put in there because they were born women. You don't put people in there because they were born with a penis or a vagina. The only reason you should ever become a boss of anything is if you're qualified, merit-based. If you have the merit, you should get it. Like, I believe that a meritocracy is the best society that human beings can achieve. Like, the utopia for me would be a technocracy, but that just doesn't seem realistic with the way the world looks today, so... But the will among the younger to take over when older bosses go into pension and have to be replaced isn't obvious. Okay? I mean... Again, you live in a fucking fantasy reality, woman. There are lots of younger people who want to become bosses. There are lots of younger people who are willing to take over when the old people go into pension. Like, I personally know a whole bunch of people, young people, who someday would like to be a boss. Like, this is not, like, what is wrong with you? You don't live in the real world. You live in your own fucking little head. Oh, this is so frustrating. Sweden's leadership supply is Sweden's leadership supply is threatened, and we simply cannot afford to make things more difficult. Yeah, I agree with you. We can't afford to make things more difficult by artificially implanting fucking incapable people rather than going only on merit. We simply can't afford to make things more difficult by implementing affirmative action, and I'm glad we didn't. Not to say make it impossible for half of the population to lead us to success. You're an imbecile. You're an imbecile. Sorry. You just are. Today, it is up to the owners to freely put together company managements, but neither. I actually don't know this word in English. I'm sorry. Actiacon? No. What's the fucking word? I'm gonna look this up as well. Oh, diversity courses. Oh no. Oh no! Oh god, I misunderstood that because this word means two different things. Anyway. But neither diversity courses, employment tests, or competence investigations, I suppose, have up until now, created equal opportunities for women to make a career, all the way to the top, on the same basis as men. You think maybe that's because of the difference of interests? Do you think maybe that might be the reason? Or are you still stuck on this? There's a lack of will in the upper management to replace themselves with women. I mean, yeah, even then, I'd buy that, yeah. But the upper management doesn't want to replace itself, period, because they are in the upper management. They are in the higher-ups. They want to keep their positions for as long as they possibly can in order to earn as much money as possible. That's why they're there. For the most part. In the lack of role models, there's still a view on the competent leader as a white, heterosexual, middle-aged man. Oh my god. Oh my god! Why do these people exist? Just holy crap. In the lack of role models, there is still a view, a stereotypical view on the competent leader as a white, heterosexual, middle-aged man. No. No. Just no. You're wrong. Maybe in the generation you were raised in. Maybe in the backwaters of the past. Maybe. But you know what? My generation grew up not caring. Not giving a fuck what colour your skin was. Not giving a shit what sexuality you had. Not caring how old you were. Because what matters? Those things don't matter. What matters is your merit, your capability. And I can't speak for my entire generation. I know that fucking a lot of my generation is a cancerous bunch of bullshit, but me and my friends, the people I went to school with, the people I grew up with, they don't give a shit about this stuff. They don't care. And they're reasonable people. They are. Most of them work hard. Most of them have got themselves... Well, most of them are actually in a better position than I am, to be frank, and I'm happy for them. Because they're capable people. They don't tend to get caught up in like this bullshit that I do. Anyway. This showed that the ledanos, or leaders, diversity investigation, wow, called this, if anyone wants to look that up, where the first 10 people who were mentioned when the Swedish people was asked to think of a boss who were men, who was a man. Okay. Another investigation, this, if you want to look that up, shows that a total of 78% of the Swedish people think that it would be good with more women in company management. Okay, sure. Swedish people are retards, we know that. We're a fucking feminist nation at this point. There's no denying that, for God's sakes. Our fucking Prime Minister gave a speech in New York, I think it was, when he got elected. How proud he was to like be the first feminist government in the world, which is just wow. I am so ashamed. Paradoxically enough, most people was against affirmative action, while simultaneously the men that they mentioned recruiting... While simultaneously the men that they mentioned, which recruited other men as a reason... What? How? they put out the reason as to why the amount of women in company management was so low is because men recruit men. Proof, please? No? No? I mean, men don't only recruit men. If that were the case, no women would be no woman would have a job. Clearly you have a job, as miserable as you are at it. Oh. Recently, the Bank of Avanza showed a clearly positive cooperation between women and leadership positions and the company's profits or prosperity. Okay, sure, they're a successful company, not necessarily causation, but the correlation does not mean causation, right? That's a fallacy. I mean, it's good for them that their company is doing well. Good for you. And, that you have a lot of women in leadership positions. Sure, good for you, whatever. Who gives a shit? Again, merit, please. The competent women exist. Of course they do. Of course they do. That was never in dispute by anyone. Whoever said that probably was born in the last century at some point. Early last century. Idiots. And those who couldn't find them are looking in the wrong places. Oh, really? Really? Holy shit. Just... Sure. Why not? The human being isn't especially positive to change. I would agree with that. Yeah, human beings aren't typically positive to change. I happen to be, but that's because I believe in the scientific method, and I believe that everything can be improved. No power groups have ever shared. No, that's actually. No power groups in power have ever shared the power freely, and no paradigm shifts in areas for equality. And this is basically equality, and this is basically equality between genders. Has ever happened without resistance or political reforms. Sure, probably. Well, I wouldn't say ever, perhaps, but sure, there's been resistance, but for the most part, I think people are reasonable, and if they can be argued out of their preconceptions and perhaps what they've been taught with reason and logic, I think most people are quite capable of finding this shit out for themselves, like figuring this out. You might need to argue something with someone, and it might take a while before they accept your argument, but I think most people are capable of learning things and figuring things out rationally. The free market is not accepted by laws and rules of society. A law about affirmative action to guarantee a more equal gender distribution among companies' management is neither a bigger or a lesser Why are you this stupid? Why do you think this is correct? This is absurd. This is ridiculous. I don't understand why Why? Just why? How do you think this is not a bigger or a lesser fucking well, I don't know what this word is right now. I can't think with it. Reading these fucking articles, I can just feel it making me stupider. Well, say, not even a word. Dumber. Fuck me. It's basically forcing them into doing something, right? Or restricting them into the free market. It's like than any other law that the parliament decides on. How is it not? You're basically not removing, but limiting merit-based hiring. How is that not limiting to a greater or lesser extent? It's clearly limiting in a very, very fucking large extent than most other laws, I'd say. God fucking damn it. A political decision about affirmative action. I keep wanting to say artificial when I read that. I don't know why. Affirmative action to company management would be an unimportant milestone in the development towards a more equal, newly created, and concurrence powerful working market. Concurrence? Is that a word? Competition heavy, perhaps? Now when the domestic economics, I actually want to look this up because I don't think I ever learned this word. Business. Well, it's not really the right term for it. But yeah. Now when let's just say business for now, but although it's not quite the right word, haven't been able to reach that goal within 40% women in company management, the government is coming along with a suggestion to basically put affirmative action into law, so that within company management, and the parliament has to give it support to secure growth, innovation and success for Swedish companies. Do you really think that affirmative action is going to fix this? Yeah, we have a failing economy, I think. We had for some years, but that was during the recession. Generally, I think Sweden is rather successful still. Now we are a Western nation, and we got a bit of a head start on that, globally speaking. But we're all right in this country. We're all right. We're not terribly bad off. Now there are a whole bunch of different issues that I think are more important than affirmative action. But this just shows the mentality of these people. And this got shot down, by the way. This was last year, and it got shot down in Parliament, thankfully. So, yeah, we're not forcing companies to hire based on nothing but merit. And that's the way it should be. But there is still a very perceived large societal pressure to... and companies do this freely, by the way. Companies do this freely, hire based on race or based on gender, to have like a diverse employment base. Companies do this freely. And it's just beyond me. Why would you do that rather than hire based on merit? To me, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you force a company to say, "Oh, sorry, I can't give you a job because we haven't got enough black people working for us," or "Sorry, I can't give you a job because we don't have enough women working for us, so we'll have to give it to a woman." Like, you should never hire anyone who's not qualified for the position. You should never be forced to hire someone who's not qualified for your position. And naturally, you'll want the person who's the most qualified. And that's the way it should be. So, to you, Annika Elias, I doubt you'll ever see this. But to you, fuck you. You're a retard. You're an imbecile. Affirmative action is frankly immoral. And it's illogical. I see no reason why anyone should ever listen to you with regards to fucking gender politics. And it's just horrible. Like, do you not think that women or people of color, different color than white, can do things on their own? Do you not think that women are capable of becoming bosses based on their own merits? Do you not think that people of different colors are capable of becoming bosses or leaders based on their own merit? Because that's what this means. Affirmative action means, oh, you can't do this on your own, so we're going to put you into this position because there aren't enough people like you there. I mean, that's just horrible. That's sexist and that's racist. And I don't see how you can't see that. I don't understand how people, making this argument can't see that. It is beyond me. Because it's so simple. Why would you? How could you say that? Anyway, that's my rant for now. Fuck off.